I'm Rodney Thompson, co-designer of Lords of Waterdeep, and today I'm going to give you a quick look at the game. Lords of Waterdeep is a competitive Euro-style strategy game for 2 to 5 players in which each of you take on the role of one of the 11 secret rulers of the City of Splendors. Over the course of 8 rounds, you'll send agents out into the city to perform a variety of different actions that will increase your influence over the city and earn you victory points. At the end of the game, the player with the most victory points is the winner. I found that the easiest way to show someone how to play the game is to explain the board and components while you're setting up. So unpack the box and have it all on hand. You'll need just about everything for every game. So the first thing you'll want to do is shuffle the deck of Lord cards and deal 1 out to each player. Take a look at your Lord card, but keep your identity secret from everybody else. You'll see that your Lord has an affinity for 2 types of quests. Completing those will earn you additional victory points at the end of the game. Since you're operating behind the scenes, you've secretly aligned yourself with one of the 5 major factions in Waterdeep. Your choice of faction has no impact on the game beyond establishing your color. So take your pick of player mat, place it in front of you, and tuck your Lord card underneath. Now that you've chosen a faction, you can take the scoring marker that matches your faction's color and place it on the scoring track at 0. Depending on how many players you have, you'll each get a number of agents to send into the city each round. For now, you'll place them in the agent pool at the top of your player mat. You'll also put another agent on the agent space you'll find at the bottom of the game board. At the start of the 5th round, you'll add that extra agent to your agent pool. Now give the first player marker to one player. That person will remain the first player until someone else takes possession of the marker, which I'll explain to you in a little while. This is also a good time to distribute starting gold. The starting player gets 4 gold. Proceeding to that player's left and going around the table, give each player 1 more gold than the previous player. Next, shuffle the deck of quest cards, deal 2 to each player, then deal the next 4 quest cards onto the spaces above the Cliff Watch Inn. Completing quests is the main way you'll score victory points in the game, so you'll want to be familiar with the quest cards. At the top of the card, you'll see the quest type, which gives you an idea of what adventurers are usually required for that quest. And, based on your Lord card, it lets you know whether completing that quest will score extra victory points at the end of the game. Every quest also has a requirements section, which tells you what resources you need to complete the quest, as well as a rewards section, which tells you what you get when you do. Most quests award victory points, and some have other rewards. Certain quests, called plot quests, also give you ongoing benefits that stay around for the rest of the game. Let's look at the resources. These colored cubes represent adventurers, and these tokens are your gold. Anytime you gain an adventurer or gold, place it in your tavern on your player mat. Now shuffle the Intrigue card deck and deal 2 to each player. You can take a look at your Intrigue cards, but keep them secret until they come into play. I'll show you when and where that happens a little later. Intrigue cards are the main way you'll interact with other players. They're always good for the person who plays the card, and can be either good or bad for the other players at the table. On your turn, you can do 2 things: assign an agent and complete a quest. To assign an agent, take 1 agent from your agent pool, place it on any unoccupied action space, and immediately gain the benefits of that space. After you've assigned an agent, you have the option of completing a single quest by spending its required resources and gaining that quest's reward. Completed quest cards go either face down on your player mat or face up on the right-hand completed plot quest side. After you've taken your turn, play proceeds to the next player on your left. If a player has no agents left in his or her agent pool, skip that player and proceed to the next player. Waterdeep is filled with locations marked with action spaces. These are the places you'll send your agents to collect gold, hire adventurers, and perform other activities that will help you gain more influence in the city. For example, 5 of those action spaces each provide you with one of the 5 resources. When you assign an agent to one of those locations, you take the indicated resources from the supply and place them in your tavern. Castle Waterdeep is where you can send an agent to take possession of the first player marker and draw an Intrigue card. To get new quests, send an agent to the location we set up earlier, the Cliffwatch Inn. There are 3 action spaces at this location, each of which can be occupied in any order by 3 different agents. All 3 spaces give you your choice of a quest card, but they all work a little differently. Here, you choose one of the face-up quest cards and you get 2 gold. The second space gives you a quest card and an intrigue card. On the last space, you first discard all the face-up quest cards, deal out 4 new ones, and then select one of those. The Builder's Hall is where you bring new buildings with new actions into play. At the beginning of the game, shuffle the building tiles and place 3 of them face up on these 3 spaces. When you assign an agent to the Builder's Hall, you can choose one of the 3 face-up buildings to buy. Pay its cost, then put the tile on any of the empty building spaces. Place one of your faction's control markers to indicate that you now own the building. Once a building's in play, it works just like any other location. Anyone can assign an agent there to gain its benefit. But whenever someone other than the owner assigns an agent to an owned building, the owner also gains the benefit listed on the bottom of the tile. Right below the Builder's Hall is where you keep track of the game rounds. When you're setting up the game, stack 3 victory point markers on each of the 8 spaces. At the beginning of the game, and start of each round, you'll take the markers from the next space and place 1 on each of the 3 buildings in the Builder's Hall. Whenever you purchase a building, you also gain victory points equal to the number of victory point tokens on that building. Waterdeep Harbor is where you send an agent in order to play an intrigue card. When you assign an agent there, choose one of your intrigue cards, follow the instructions on that card, and then discard the card. Once everyone has assigned all of their agents, any agents that are at Waterdeep Harbor are then reassigned by their player in the same order that they arrived to any action space that's still available. Once all of the agents have been reassigned from Waterdeep Harbor, the round ends and everyone returns their agents to their agent pool. Before you start the next round, you'll need to take the next stack of victory point tokens off of the round track and place them on the buildings in the Builder's Hall. Then perform any start of round activities, such as placing gold or adventurers on buildings. Gameplay ends after you finish the 8th round, but the game's not over yet. You still have to do your final scoring. Each player receives 1 victory point for each adventurer and every 2 gold in their tavern. Each player also receives bonus victory points for having completed particular types of quests specified on their Lord card. Once final scoring is complete, the player with the most victory points is declared the winner. So that's the game. There are a few more things you'll come across as you play, so you'll still want to read through the rulebook, but that should be enough to get you started. We hope you and your friends enjoy playing against one another as the Lords of Waterdeep. Thanks for watching.